Good evening, friends, respected counselors, and students. Welcome to the second teleconferencing session. This is Introduction to the Diploma in Dairy Technology program. Some of the students have joined to the Diploma in Dairy Technology program, so we welcome and we also welcome to the counselors. Today, to give you a brief scope of the program, we have two experts with us. Mr. Surinder Gupta, he is Assistant Commissioner in Dairy Development, Ministry of Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries, under Ministry of Agriculture. He is PhD from National Dairy Research Institute. He has a very good experience of research and industry experience. So he will be sharing that what is the scope of dairy development in country and what is the scope of this program in that context. We also have with us Mr. R.K. Bansal, who is an IIT product, and he has a lot of experience in Ministry of Food Processing Industry, particularly about the dairy development. He was involved in the establishing a large number of dairy industries, and he will be also sharing with us the scope of the dairy processing and particularly in of these students with us. So like in the previous teleconferencing session, I will start with the program. I will give a brief about the program and then I will requesting my colleagues Dr. Surinder Gupta and Dr. Bansal to tell you about the scope of their respective industries. What is the government views will be shared by Dr. Surinder Gupta. What is the status in the private industries and what type of man a very experienced person Dr. Bansal will be sharing. So first I will start with the Diploma in Dairy Technology program. This is also a program of School of Agriculture. As I mentioned, the food processing industry is changing a sea change. My colleague Dr. Nath, who were earlier present, that this is sunrise industry. It is one of the priority sectors is there. The main advantage is it handles the surplus and also balances the price fluctuation into the system is there. The main focus is that the level of processing, as we know, we are producing around 100 million tons of the milk. It is only under the organized sector we are handling only 15% is there. Total processing is around 37%. Out of this, 22% is under unorganized sector is there. And we wish to go to the, by 2009 and 10, it is around 20% will be there. So you can see when the level of processing is going from 15 to 20% under organized sector, the people, the manpower will be required. So naturally it is assumed that the people who have done this course, they will be absorbed in the processing industry will be there. In the Vision 2050, the overall for the food processing industry, there is a good scope is there, and simultaneously the milk sector will also be growing in this component. Like when the export will increase from 1.5 to 3%, simultaneously the dairy sector export will also increase. The policy interventions, government on its side is giving lot of interventions, like new food processing policy has been introduced. There is a rebate on the various items is there, delicensing has taken place, foreign investment has been allowed. So these are the many policy interventions have been there, which we will be sharing in some of the other things also there. But the drivers for growth, what we can say is urbanizations is there. Like you can imagine the scenario which is taking place, the type of milk products which are available. Earlier the people used to go to the dudhiyas or to the farmers doorstep to get the milk, but now you don't have to worry. Those who are staying in the urban areas, they know milk is available throughout the day, and anytime you, any place you can get the milk, the availability is there. And particularly with the retail industry, we can expect more growth for the processed food and the milk and milk products. A range of milk products are available to the consumers are there. As mentioning, these are some of the new schemes which will also strengthen to the milk and milk product sector also is there. But the investment which government of India is doing, the problem which they are facing is non-availability of trained human resource, and particularly at the technician level. If you see the next slide, the dairy science graduates and postgraduates on annual basis around 1000 to 2000 students are being produced, and the total is around 5000, but technician level are very less into this. Earlier the government used to have the IDD program, but that is not working, that is not in operational in many countries there. So I just want to conclude that the food processing sector is growing, and milk processing is one of the important components, and its scope will also grow with the growth of the food processing industry. Now, second aspect which I want to share with you is what is open and distance learning, because many times we try to confuse it with the correspondence institutions, or sometimes that correspondence course we will get only the study material. How do we do the practical? So those aspects I will clear. We call them as a open and distance learning program. Open and distance learning, it's a amalgamation of two words, open learning and distance learning. Open learning is a philosophy, it's an education philosophy where flexibility is given. Flexibility in the sense you can complete the course in 4 years. Admission requirement, there is a flexibility. Like in many courses, only science graduates are eligible. But we feel if a art student, if he can complete the program, why we should debar him? So the students with agriculture, with science, with art, with commerce, they can also join the course. Then you have a flexibility, you can study at your home. The study material is given to you in English and Hindi. Then you can also learn through online. So this is the flexibility is there. In distance education, the teacher is not always present to teach to the students, but this gap between teacher and students are built up. We develop the study material where the teacher is built into this. It is properly explained. The media use is there. Like this is one of the example. We try to do the teleconferencing once in every month, and where we call the experts to explain you the many of the things, and you can always ask the questions to us there. Open distance learning is a very fast growing system, and total there are around 14 open universities in country, and we are handling about 30% of the students in the country is there. And this, even if you see the National Knowledge Commission report or 11th plan recommendation on education, open and distance learning forms one of the main focal area into the system. Out of this, IGNOU is one of the important components. We are catering to 50% of the students into the system, and this university offers the programs besides doing the research and extension activities is there. Now these programs, they are multi-channels, like we give the study material, we give the audio video cassettes, the teleconferencing, counseling is also done at the places is there. We have the 5 channels for teleconferencing is there. Now this is the media capacity I was mentioning, that we have around 3000 video programs on different. We are also preparing video programs on diploma in dairy technology programs is there. This program is run by the School of Agriculture. The School of Agriculture is a new school 2005, and we are running the programs in the sector of agriculture with focus that educational opportunities should be given to the people who are involved in the agriculture sector is there. And we have taken the programs with the different ministries is there. And we are very thankful to the Ministry of Food Processing Industry, because they have supported us the 5 diploma programs in this. Diploma in Dairy Technology is one of the programs which is being developed, and simultaneously APIDA also supported us with the 3 programs in the processing part is there. Now Diploma in Dairy Technology is a vocational program. This vocational program mean it will provide you the skills for doing the activities, and it will also focuses on being you an entrepreneur in the area is there. What are the objectives? The first objective is to develop technician level human resource for the industry. The workers who are working as the untrained workers or junior workers or technician, their knowledge and skills will be upgraded, and the students can also work as entrepreneurs through this program will be there. The students can work as a capable organizers, supervisors, procurement assistants in the different day, in the different activities, and naturally if the trained manpower are there, they will be facilitating good manufacturing practices and hygiene in the sector, and this will increase the hygiene and the export status of the food processing industry. As you know, the eligibility criteria are the senior secondary pass outs students. Then the in-service people can also be join this program is there. The target group included the rural students, the students who are doing BSc agriculture. A large number of students, those who have joined this program, they are BSc AG and they have joined this program, are the people who are working in the dairy cooperatives, in the dairy plants. These are the peoples are there. What are the employment opportunities? This is very important because once you have joined this program, so you can become secretary dairy cooperative society, you can become milk procurement supervisor, milk tester, dairy plant operator, technician or supervisor. You can also become the product technician in ice cream plant, cheese plant, indigenous dairy products. You can also become the dairy assistant, chilling plant supervisor. You can also become the quality control assistant and self entrepreneur. This is the thing because now the jobs in the government sector are declining. So you can become the contractor, transporter, milk distributor, or you can also start your own milk parlor, or you can also set up your own processing industry. These are the some of the activities, the employment opportunities are there. Now what are the special features? This program, as I mentioned, is supported by Ministry of Food Processing Industry. It will give you knowledge about clean milk production and handling, processing of milk, manufacture of western and indigenous dairy products, testing and quality control of milk and milk products, marketing and economical aspects, and how do you manage small and medium dairy entrepreneur. So these are the competencies which will be provided to you. Now this course is also consists of 8 courses. These are the courses: milk production and quality of milk, dairy equipment and utilities, milk processing and packaging. Then there all the dairy products, western, starting from the khoa, ghee to the western dairy products like powder, cheese. We have clubbed them into 3 courses: dairy products 1, 2, 3, quality assurance and dairy management and entrepreneurship. So these are the 8 courses are there. The weightage is 50% to the theory, 50% to the practical is there. Now these are the some of the practicals which you will be doing, like in first course, identification of different milk breeds, housing, clean milk production, and then chemical testing, microbiological testing, preparation of microbiological media. So these are the practicals we'll be doing. In second course, dairy equipment and utilities, like all the aspects related to the engineering, like milk tanker, how it is constructed, sketch, refrigeration unit, boiler. So these aspects you will be knowing. Dairy effluent plant, particularly electrical engineering also you will be studying. In milk processing and packaging, all the aspects related to reception of milk, cream separator, batch pasteurizer, HTST, homogenizer, cleaning and sanitization of equipment, these will be known. And in dairy products 1, it's about the high fat. So cream, butter, ghee, these products you prepare and how do you test them. How do you do the AGMAR grading of ghee and butter. Similarly, in the dairy products 2, it's about all the indigenous dairy products from khoa, kalakand, rasgulla, then other dairy spray dried products, these condensed milk, these are the products are there. In dairy products 3, about the yogurt, frozen, cheese and fermented products will be taken into the. So this is the courses 3. And quality assurance, as you know, there is a lot of emphasis on the food safety and quality, so the quality aspects have been covered under this. And similarly, in the management is there, the how do you manage the dairy cooperative, marketing, then how do you prepare the project report is there. And I would like to mention that in the expert groups, our one of the expert member who is present, Shri Dr. Bansal, he was member in the expert group also, where we structured the program is there. So market report, these are the courses there. Now there will be total theory. We'll be doing the counseling. We'll be doing to the counseling to the study center, where 20 sessions will be there and 80 sessions for the practical. In each day there will be, so for total we need 40 days from you, 40 days for practicals, 5 days for the theory, 50 days, 45 days we need. Besides this, every month we will be doing one interactive teleconferencing with you will be there. And as I mentioned, there will be term and examination at the end of in December, 80% weightage is there, and there will be assignments, 20% weightage will be there. For practicals, attendance is must, 75% attendance is required, and there each practical, all the 10 to 12 practicals will be judged by the counselor, and you will be given the marks for that. And there will be final practical test also, unguided experiments, where will be 30% weightage is there. So these are our study centers. For dairy, we have a less study centers, but in dairy what has happened is, some of the dairy industries like Himachal Pradesh Dairy Federation is one of the center, Shimla Dairy. Similarly, Haryana Dairy, the students can go to the Gene Dairy plant, they can do. In Punjab, the Punjab Dairy Training Center is there. Now we are requesting with the Hyderabad also, the Hyderabad Dairy has, if they agree in principle, then the Hyderabad Dairy and its plant will be there. So these are the places, the places where we can, NDRI Karnal, Pantnagar, Haryana Dairy Federation, Himachal Dairy Federation are the centers are there. So this is in brief about the program, about the diploma in dairy technology. Now I will request my colleague Dr. Surinder Gupta to tell that what is the government's thinking about the dairy development and what is the scope of the dairy scope. So he will be sharing about this with this. I request Dr. Surinder Gupta to share about the dairy development in India, please.
So good evening, counselors and students. I will be sharing you some of the impetus which government is giving for the dairy development in the country. Just to brief, I'll indicate you that the total production of milk is about 100 million tons, and India is the largest producer of milk in the world. And being the largest producer of milk in the world, we are now entering in the international market. We are exporting our products, which never used to be there about 3-4 years back. We are one of the major competitor in the international market for milk and milk products. We are getting now many multinationals who are entering in our country. So for this, we will be requiring a trained manpower. As you can see in this slide, that the India per capita consumption is almost 245 grams, and it is likely to grow with the investment we are making in the dairy sector. Government of India is making huge investment, being our country is also the largest, is one of the largest habitat for the total livestock in the world. Lot of buffaloes, about 57% of the world buffalo population is in our country. Cattle also, and that is why our country is on advantageous position, that we are having both type of milk, buffalo and cattle. It is equally, both are equally contributing to the total milk production in our country. If we see the silent features of our dairying in our country, it is 70% of the total animals are owned by small and marginal farmers, and it is basically our dairying is based on the model of low input and low output. it is still a subsidiary profession. People are not considering as a major profession. It is supplementing the income of the farmers in the villages. The animals are fed on the crop residues or the byproducts, and whatsoever milk is produced, that is adding to their income. If we further see, the government of India, that is different schemes it is implementing apart from the input which is being given by different state governments, and as well as there is one National Dairy Development Board which is also providing the support for the growth of this dairy sector. If we see the dairy sector as in our country, the dairy scenario is almost, it is government is supporting both cooperatives and the private, and the milk handling is almost equal between cooperatives and the private sector. Total about 20% of the milk is handled, milk produced in the country is handled by the organized sector. It is equally distributed between private and the cooperative sector. And if we see the dairy processing sector, that is the milk plants, it is about 235 units are there in the cooperative sector, which are handling capacity of about 39%. And similarly, there are 5 units in the private sector. So there is huge dairy industry which is available with us for the job opportunities. And if we see further, the participation of private sector is increasing every year. More number of multinationals are entering in our country, and we are also saying that the government of India is regulating one order, milk and milk products order. Of course, now it has been subsumed in the new Food Act. Now it is milk and milk products rules which are governing the dairy sector in our country. We are having different schemes for the dairy sector which provide funds, which through these schemes we are providing funds to the dairy sector. The first scheme which gave the most impetus to the dairy sector is the operational flood. It was implemented in 1971 to 1996, and it created the 3 type of cooperative structure in our country. And this was at the primary level, village cooperative societies. At the secondary level, it was unions, and then at the apex level, it was the federation, state dairy federation. Then the state dairy federation unions are basically to process the milk whatsoever is collected by the cooperatives at the village level, and the federation's main job is to strengthen the unions and as well as to provide the marketing network at the national level. Similarly, if we see the operation flood in detail, it is almost investment of more than 17,000 crore it was made in this operation flood. The lot of drying capacity, dairy plants and dairy processing capacity was created in this operation flood, and the total investment was about 18,000 million rupees, and that was the that is how this dairy development took place in our country. That was the basically first program which was implemented by Government of India with aid from World Bank and US Development Authority. Now, if you see the dairy cooperative sector, which was the prime most outcome of the operation flood, there are about 172 milk unions, and these are operating in about 346 districts. There are 153 lakh village level cooperative societies, that is the primary level societies, which are basically in the process of collection of milk by just collecting the group of farmers, and these cooperatives are joined by 13 million farmer members, and they are providing about 24 million kgs of milk per day. There is lot of throughout the country it is almost milk is produced, but some of the major states which are producing milk, the Uttar Pradesh is the largest producer of milk in the state, and then Punjab, and then Rajasthan. You see the exports, as I was telling you earlier, during the last 3-4 years, we had been able to give major impetus to the export of milk and milk products. It is about 866 crores worth of exports we are making nowadays. The major products which we are making exporting are SMP, skim milk powder, whole milk powder, and to some extent ghee, butter, cheese, and now new product like casein. We are one of the major exporters. Government of India is implementing some of the schemes to give growth, to give a boost to the dairy sector. There are two centrally sponsored schemes and two are the central sector schemes. Centrally sponsored schemes are intensive dairy development program and other is the clean milk production program. This is recently about 3-4 years back it was launched to create an environment of clean milk production in the country. Central sector schemes, the one is to assist the cooperatives which had been established in operation flood area, and the other scheme is dairy venture capital fund. This has also been recently launched. It is a scheme, very novel scheme, where the funds are provided at a very low rate of interest to the entrepreneurs or the farmers who want to take up dairying as a profession. There are different components under this scheme which I will be elaborating afterwards. IDDP, the first scheme which we launched about 13 years back, this is 100% sponsored, 100% grant is provided under this scheme and it is centrally sponsored scheme. It is basically for those districts where the fund, where there had been very low investment during the operation flood area. And in this we are providing infrastructure, funds for the infrastructure for procurement, processing and marketing of milk, and to the we are providing also a network of marketing milk production to milk products marketing, so that the farmers who are producing milk in the less privileged areas, they are able to get the markets. In this we are also providing funds for the manpower development. Funds are providing for the training of farmers, dairy personnel and DCS staff, and we are also to some extent there is a limits for these funds. So far we have covered 206 districts in this scheme, and almost 18 lakh farmers have benefited through this. The other schemes, clean milk production, this is to create infrastructure for the production of quality milk and quality milk handling at the farmers level, at the plant level. And in this, the extension and communication is also created through the mass awareness programs. And we have already established one of the major component of this clean milk production is to establish bulk milk cooling units. And we have already established about 17 lakh liters milk chilling capacity. Under this, we are providing training to the farmers, to the milk producers, and almost 5 lakh farmers have been trained for clean milk production. Other scheme is assistance to cooperatives. As I already told you, this scheme is for the cooperatives, to strengthen the cooperatives which had been established in Operation Flood program, or due to some reasons they have become sick or they are not in the good shape. So to strengthen them, we had been assisting cooperatives and providing funds on 50-50 sharing basis. That is, if 50% is the Government of India share and 50% is the state or the concerned union or federation share. So far we have supported 34 unions in 12 states. The Dairy Venture Capital Fund, this is a new scheme where the funds, it is very lucrative scheme and quite popular in the country. It is to to promote the setting up of small dairy farms for production of clean milk, and also to make structure changes so that the large or unorganized sector that also comes in the ambit of organized sector. In this we are having the implementation through NABARD, and then funds we are providing to NABARD to keep in a revolving fund, and that NABARD is implementing this scheme through the commercial banks, even cooperatives and regional rural banks are also participating in this. The funding pattern, that is very interesting, because you are maybe some of the students who are taking up this program may become entrepreneurs and they will find this program, this scheme very useful. Under this, entrepreneurs' contribution is only 10% of the project cost. Central government contribution is 50% of the project cost, and this is interest-free loan. And the 40% is the interest-bearing loan. But you can further find that 50% of the interest subsidy is also provided by center on the interest-bearing loan if the beneficiary is repaying the loan on regular and timely basis. So it is almost very low interest which is charged under this scheme. We have provided huge funds for the growth of dairy development in the country, and about 278 crores were spent in the 10th plan for this sector. And in the 11th plan also the huge funds have been provided, almost 600 crore for the 11th plan have been kept, and already in this year 2008-9 100 crores were provided, and we have already spent 80 crore for the growth of dairy sector. We are having milk and milk products order. Of course, it has been subsumed now in the Food Act. Now it is to maintain and increase the supply of desired quality of liquid milk in the interest of general public. And the second objective of the milk and milk products order is to maintain sanitary hygienic conditions in the country. We see there are about 530 units in the private sector and about 230 units in the cooperative sectors, where the graduates or the dairy personnel who are getting this training can have a very vast we can say vast scope for the employment. And now one more scheme which Government of India is contemplating, that is National Dairy Plan. This is what we are targeting, that it is demand for milk and milk products will be about 100 million tons by 2021 to 22. So we are envisaging an investment of about 17,000 crore in this sector through this plan. So one can see that the amount of the quantum of investment government is contemplating to make in this sector, and this is going to provide a huge job opportunities for the diploma holders in dairy technology. Through this plan we are going to set up about 97 milk processing plants and 26 powder plants. So once this plan is implemented, there will be huge scope for the job opportunities. And if we see the diploma holders for the dairy, they will be appointed, I will rather say, that supervisor or operators in dairy plants, because once we are in the we are competing in the international market, we require the trained manpower. We require the trained man force who can produce the products of the desired quality. Similarly, in the quality control laboratories, in the milk procurement, because the main impetus is going to be on the milk procurement, so that the quality of our milk which we procure in the villages becomes of international standard and we are able to compete in that world. Now with this, I just explained the Government of India investment which is for the dairy development sector.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta, for supporting giving the details of the schemes and giving that there is a good scope for the dairy the students who are doing this program. Now I will request our senior colleague Dr. R.K. Bansal to reflect upon the emerging dimensions of the dairy processing industry and then the scope of the diploma in dairy technology. Dr. Bansal, please.
Thank you, Dr. Saluja. Dear students, I think enough has already been spoken by Mr. Gupta, Dr. Gupta. But I just want to add to this, this course what has been started by IGNOU, dairy technology. It is dairy is the backbone of this country. And I remember the times when I was in National Dairy Development Board, we used to get free gift from World Food Program, milk powder and butter oil. And milk used to be reconstituted from these two commodities. And it was being sold and the funds were being generated to set up milk processing plants. Now the times have changed, as already spoken. Our production today is more than 100 million tons and through about 10 million farmers. So you can see the importance of this. And this is the largest, growing sector in the sense that the growth is more than 5% today, which is not in any agriculture commodities. So I just wanted to say first, the importance of this sector where you are doing your diploma. Now coming to the scope and coming to the future, I'll only give you some practical aspects. Now when we are the dairy operations starts from the procurement of milk. Now when you procure milk, a dairy technologist is essentially required just to find out that at what cost it has to be purchased. Now it is not on the volume, or it is not on the weight of the milk. It has to be on the basis of the percentage of fat in that, in the percentage of in that. Milk has three commodities: fat, the lactose, and the casein. Today, the casein is the most expensive part. It's more than about 350 rupees a kg. Fat is hardly 150 rupees a kg. So this is the requirement. At the time of procurement, a dairy technologist is required. And this is what IGNOU has been, in their course has put as one of the component, as one of the activity. And now thereafter, what type of milk processing plant you want to set up. It is very important for you as a dairy technologist. What should be the layout? You just can't put anything anywhere. Where the chiller should be, where the boiler should be, and how it has to be done. They're also require a dairy technologist. And coming to the physical operations, how do you operate a machine? How do you set right a machine? This is the duty of a dairy technologist. Can you believe that today, under the milk and milk products order, a dairy technologist is a must? Nobody can take a MMPO license unless he has got a dairy technologist. But this is the status only for the organized sector. If you talk of the unorganized sector, there is no restrictions today. Anybody can do anything. But time will come. Times are changing, because India is, if you want to increase our, exports, if you want to increase our milk production, if you want to increase our milk processing, we have to improve ourselves. And the improvement can be only through the dairy technologists. So here, the scope would be that even in the organized sector, a time will come that it has to be through the dairy technologists. And not only that, even after, after the production has come, the course also includes, some aspects of marketing. It also includes some aspects of, finance. Now these are required, because if an entrepreneur wants to set up a dairy, he should know about that. So it's a very comprehensive course, and dairy technology is the scope of the future. And not only the scope of the future, it's the scope of the country. It is the backbone of the country. And let me tell you two schemes, which are very important. That is for the entrepreneurs. One is, if you want to set up a food processing and training center where you want to impart training, in the dairy, the scheme says that for a single product, it is about 2 lakhs of subsidies given by the Ministry of Food Processing, and 10 lakhs, for a multi-product. And besides that, there is a subsidy of 25% on plant and machinery and buildings by the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Now, this is the scope for the entrepreneur. Now, these are two different activities, there are two different scopes. One is where you want to put yourself in service. And secondly, where you want to become an entrepreneur. Now, if you want to put yourself in service, my advice would be that, the course is comprehensive, but you should select depending upon your area, depending upon your, your capability. I think you should select a activity. Either it can be milk procurement, or it can be milk processing, or it can be quality, it can be the laboratory, or it can be the maintenance. So this activity, and one of the activities will have to be, given preference by you, because you can't during your service, you can't, as a dairy technologist, can't do for all the activities. Ultimately, of course, when we are a general manager, it can be done. And I can assure you that the scope, as far as the scope, and IGNOU has done a wonderful, course, dairy technology, because this is what the Ministry of Food Processing Industries wanted, and that's what they've come out. And I can only say that you are lucky that you have enrolled yourself, students, for this course, and the scope is enormous. And for the future, I think there will be a shortage once the need, the people feel the necessity and the need of a qualified dairy technologist. I think the time is very short. I have not given any written presentation to you, but these were some practical tips. I thought that I'll give it to you. But the questions are welcome, and now I'll request Dr. Suruja to just summarize.
Thank you, Dr. Bansal, and thank you, Dr. Surinder Gupta. Now, if some students are the counselors, if they are watching this program, I will request them to ask the questions, particularly about the structure, about the counseling, about the schemes which has been mentioned, and this indicates the present and what Dr. Bansal has mentioned, that the role of dairy technician is going to increase. The way the government is going to invest the money in the sector which Dr. Gupta is there. So I also feel that you have done a good choice by joining this program. No, but like I will ask Dr. Bansal that what do you think is the areas where the export potential exists, a type of products where the export potential is there, so that the students can focus on those type of products.
Dr. Skruja, there are various products, but as on today, the maximum scope is for the skim milk powder and the casein. Casein is one of the component of milk. But slowly and slowly, the time will come, when the subsidies goes down by European community, I think we will be emerge as the large exporter for all types of products. We have not started the cheese export. We have not started the ghee export. It's in a very limited quantity. But ultimately, the scope would be the day we be emerge as an exporter to Southeast Asia and to the Middle East for pure milk, for liquid milk. The day we emerge as an exporter for liquid milk, I think that will be a wonderful thing for this country and a wonderful thing for the dairy technologies.
Thank you. And Dr. Gupta, can you explain how a rural student he can take the advantage of the government schemes under this if he has done diploma in dairy technology, and that clean milk production scheme is there, or the other scheme is there, like Dr. Bansal mentioned about FPTC scheme, one scheme is there. Similarly, the Ministry of Animal Husbandry and Dairying has some scheme under which the students can take advantage.
Yes, Government of India is running about 4 schemes for dairy development. So 3 schemes are for the unions or the state government, but the 4th scheme which I mentioned, that is Dairy Venture Capital Fund, under that the beneficiaries can take advantage. He or she will have to contact the NABARD office, and then they can submit the project to the identified bank which NABARD will be telling them in their district. In all the districts, NABARD is having its district officers. They can contact them. They will guide them that how to prepare the project and for which components the funds will be provided. And then the bank will guide you about the projects. They will help you in preparation of the projects, and then the funds will be provided. And Government of India funds will be provided by NABARD, and the bank loan will be provided by the bank, and 10% will be contributed by the beneficiary.
So the students can, particularly if they are in the work, if they are from the milk processing area, they can take advantage of the scheme, and they can set up their own entrepreneur. Is there? So this is in a brief about the diploma in dairy technology program. Thank you very much, please.